I was sitting in this coffee house, and this old man at the table next to me struck up a conversation. He said you had an amazing story.
阔别4年，大导演李安的《少年派的奇幻漂流》终于千呼万唤始出来。此前，该片凭借完美的3D 效果、绚丽的视觉奇观以及震撼人心的故事，在纽约影展获得盛赞。影片改编自最不可能被影像化的全球同名畅销小说。日本货轮失事，帕特尔被2名水手当作诱饵扔到救生艇中去喂猎狗，他侥幸落在救生艇的翻盖布上得以生存。于是他开始了在海上漂泊227天的历程。与他同时处在救生艇中的，除了那只猎狗外，还有一只断了1条腿的斑马，一只猩猩以及一只成年孟加拉虎。由于海关官员的失误，这只孟加拉虎注册了一个正经八百的绅士名字理查德·帕克。在救生艇上的最初3天，猎狗咬死了猩猩，活吃了斑马，理查德·帕克咬死了猎狗。接着，16岁的少年帕特尔海上生存的故事，就是如何对付理查德·帕克的故事。
It's a story of a single boy on a lifeboat living with his tiger.
The most important thing is the relationship with the tiger.
Pi and Richard Parker really connect because they're alone and they have to survive, so they need each other. Patience!
You're not gonna have the tiger to do this and that with a boy. You can't film for real.
Life of Pi is definitely one of the most challenging projects I ever worked on. Knowing that we were going to have to intercut between a real tiger and the digital one, it hasn't been done in the past. We had over 15 artists just working on the fur. Someone has to comb and place all the 10 million hairs that are on his body. It required the advancement of technology. It required computers to get fast enough to match it in 3D.
By bringing the real animal, you set a standard. This is what you have to match.
If you didn't have Richard Parker, he would have access to the entirety of the lifeboat, but he would also be completely alone.
As I was writing the book, cinematic as it was in my mind, I thought this is a completely unfilmable story. You have to take those little symbols on the page and turn them into a visual reality. You needed a director who both could understand the story, feel for it, but also be able to overcome the enormous technical challenges.
If you're a filmmaker, it's quite daunting.
The challenge with Life of Pi is that it's a movie that features a tiger. They have to use a CGI tiger because there's some parts of the story that would be unfilmable otherwise.
The scope of the story is grand. Because of that, I thought I might just need another dimension. It's about adventure, survival, hope, wonder, but there's a spirituality and faith. It's a boy and a tiger on a lifeboat in the water. How do you make that into a movie? Sometimes feels like courage, sometimes you just see in despair.
Ang Lee has a know-how, a determination to pull that off. So he's the perfect director. It's a match made in heaven.
What more do you want?
I think there's no greater pleasure than sitting in a theater and being taken on a journey by a master filmmaker like Ang Lee. It was just such a magical vision. You feel wrapped in the story right from the beginning. And I think the 3D certainly contributes to that, but it's also just great filmmaking.
I was so impressed with the balance of the 3D and the actual story. It's amazing how it embedded itself in as if it was one and the same.
It took me a long time to figure out. It's a big endeavor. I thought if I use 3D, maybe that new technology can open up people's minds.
Come on! Come on!
You go on a journey that's eye-popping, that's terrifying, that's exquisitely beautiful. You know, so to me, it doesn't get any better than that.
With Ang's movie, you connect so well. You feel that you're in the middle of that ocean and isolated from civilization.
You've got to go on the journey. You have to see it for yourself. The 3D is an integrated part of the art form, and I feel like the technology that we created has contributed to a masterpiece.